Hello, I'm Alan. Welcome to the Guitar Shack. So today's video is once again about Telecasters. I think I'm going to rename this channel Telecaster Shack, but Telecasters it is, and more specifically this Telecaster, which is going to become a Telecaster. So I have a terrible habit of eBay browsing and just picking up parts that look interesting, and this was one of these. So it's a 2011 American Special Telecaster body, and it was bundled with a pickguard, a Seymour Duncan Jazz humbucker in the neck, um, a pickup in the bridge, a three saddle bridge, and a set of controls. The controls will be thrown. I've got a new set of CTS and Switchcraft and proper components arriving by post, hopefully today. The pickup was out of a Squire Classic Vibe, so it would be a Tone Rider, but it's one of the lower output ones. So I don't think it will pair particularly well with the humbucker. And I've got some other pickups, so I will replace that. But the whole thing has been came as a package, and the interesting thing about it is that it's been refinished in Nitro by a very friendly and very communicative seller who had some really good communications with. And basically, what he'd done had been stripped it down. He had, first of all, finished it in clear Nitro, and then he wasn't happy with that, so he stripped it again and painted it. And it's had about 12 coats of Nitro on it. But what he hadn't done was done the flatting and polishing. So, as received, it was obviously in need of that work, and that's the thing that I've done to it now. So I spent last weekend, which is possibly the hottest weekend on record in the UK, sanding and then polishing this, and it's come up really well. The thing I like about Nitro, apart from, people talk about the tonal benefits and all the rest of it, I just like the look and the feel.
So this was the body I received. It's been well painted, but it's got a lot of orange peel, so it just needs flatting off and polishing.
So this is it after I've flatted it with 800, then 1000, then 1200, then 1500, and then 2000 grit. And then I polished it up machine polished it with some Meguiar's automotive cutting compound, and then gave it a couple of coats of wax. So I'm really pleased with it. It's not like a factory finish. I think from discussions with the gentleman that did the painting, I think he'd done something like 8 colour coats and then 2 or 3 clear coats on the top of it, which isn't all that much clear coat. And I didn't want to go too far with the sanding. I didn't want to burn through it. So I still left it fairly light, and then I was quite conservative with the amount of sanding. And because of that, two things. One, I've still got a few little bits of orange peel, which just in the paint. And then secondly, I've still got some swirl marks in there. Now I could take those out with some swirl remover, but actually I really like the look of this as it is now. It doesn't look factory fresh, and it's not quite road worn, but it looks somewhere in between. I have got a couple of areas. One is where I managed to bash it against something, so I've got a chip just in the finish here. And then I've got another little bit of burn through where I just on that. It's always difficult sanding in there, so I've got a little bit there. I may touch that in because I have got some of this colour. It's Dakota Red Northwest Guitars, so I might touch it in, but I might not because I actually really like it as it is. And then on the other side, I've got just one section somewhere on the edge where I just burnt through lightly. Where is that? So this other section here is just a little bit of burn through just on the edge. So again, I might touch that up or I might not. But overall, I think this is a really nice body, and it's come up just the right amount of shiny, but just the right amount of worn in too. So very pleased with this. So that then brings me to the rest of the build. So got a black pickguard, which is what I would have put on it anyway. And then this humbucker is Seymour Duncan, and as we can see, well, not quite, SH2N neck, which is a Jazz. So that's fine. The pickup's been shielded, and it's got a 4-wire conductor. I might or might not. I don't generally split humbuckers in the necks, but I might just because I'm building it up anyway. So that slots in there. And then it came with this genuine Fender 3-saddle bridge. So that would have been the bridge that's on it, I'm sure. It's an American Special, which came with a 4-screw vintage bridge. So that'll clean up nicely. And then I've got an Iron Gear Steel Foundry overwound. So these are really nice, quite high output. It's about 9.5K. Really nice tone. They're a bit like a Texas Special, but they're just a bit, in terms of how hot they are. But they're a little bit more mid-range. They're not as scooped as a Texas Special. So these, I think, will fit really nicely with that humbucker. So that fits on like that. And then I've got the currently empty control plate, which will fit on like so. So that's the guts of it. And then finally we have the neck. So this one you might recognize if you've been watching some of my other videos. This is an American Performer neck, 2018 I believe, which I had built up in my other all USA partscaster. But then, as I do, I came across an American Professional neck which had a stripped truss rod, and that's a fairly common fault. So I thought, well, let's get that and I will fix it so that I can, I've got that experience and know how to do it. I don't like messing around with customers' guitars for the first time doing something like that. So I bought that, fixed it, and then I put that neck on the other build, which was all American Professional 2 anyway. So that is now in all respects an AM Pro, and this one is an American Special body and an American Performer neck. And the American Performer is, of course, just an update to the American Special. So this is, again, pretty much the right neck with the right guitar. And it looks pretty good. So then we get on to the ancillaries. So I've got a neck plate. So the Special body doesn't have a micro tilt, so just the 4 holes is fine. I've got an electro socket, and then I've got a set of strap buttons out the box, out the parts box. And then last but not least, I've got a set of classic gear tuners. So these are the ones that I use in most of my builds. So the vintage style, vintage looking, but they're split post, so they act like traditional split post tuners, but they are sized and have got the 2 little pins so that they drop straight into modern Fender necks. So a lot of people put locking tuners on all their builds as a matter of course. I put these on all mine as a matter of course because I just much prefer this style of tuner. So that's what's going on. Let's get on with it. So here's a back view of the neck with the classic gear tuners fitted. So as you can see, there's no extra screws in the back. They just drop straight into the 2-pin mounts and the 10mm holes. So real easy to fit if you do enjoy the vintage look and the vintage split post style. So I'm just going to get this body assembled back together while I'm waiting for the electronics to arrive. So start off with the bridge screws. As always, just dip them in a wee bit of candle wax just to lubricate the threads, particularly after the body's been painted. Just you want to try and get it in and out as cleanly as possible. So that's that one done for now, just waiting for the arrival of the electronics, and then I'll get the control plate wired up and fitted. Not a bad looking wall at the moment. Okay, so that's the wiring done. So we've got standard Switchcraft switch, we've got CTS ports 500K, and we've got switchable coil split on the tone control. And the wiring is a bit of a rat's nest because of the 4-conductor humbucker, but it works. Okay, so here's a finished article, so let's have a few sounds. So clean amp and bridge pickup. Middle. Neck. So clean, bit of drive. Middle. Neck. Bridge.
It's always a question with doing a kind of mixed setup with a humbucker and a single coil, but I think these play together really nicely. It's got a nice balanced tone in the middle. That's what it sounds like. So, final thoughts on this one then. Very pleased with it. It's a classic, see some interesting bits on eBay and build a guitar out of them kind of deal. So what is it? Well, it's American Special body, it's an American Performer neck. Those are broadly the same guitar apart from the pickups and the tuners, which got changed. So originally this body would have had, I guess, this bridge. It would have had Texas Specials. It would have had standard wiring, same as this. And I think it would have had closed tuners, whereas once they went to Performer, then I think they went Yosemite pickups and classic gear tuners. So, apart from this is a 2012 body, this is a 2018 neck, it's pretty much the same guitar. Obviously, it's got the Seymour Duncan humbucker in the neck, which gives it a nice bit of welly, and the Nitro finish. I think it did well with this Nitro finish. The guy that I bought it from had done a nice job. He said that he was never happy with it because there was a few dents in the body, and there are, there's a few dings, which there, and there. There's one that's not there. There's a couple just on the top there. But then it is a 13-year-old guitar, and I think the fact that those are still there because Nitro is such a thin finish anyway. They're just going to be there, give it a little bit of character. So by the same reasoning, the fact that I've got a couple of bits where I've either, dinged the paint, or in this case, I'd actually burnt through it a tiny little bit when I was polishing it up, I think is absolutely fine because it just gives it a really nice, slightly road-worn vibe. So overall, nice guitar, very happy with it. And, as always, people talk a lot about partscasters. Are they a good thing or are they a bad thing? For me, it's all about the fun of getting the bits, seeing what you can build, and sort of seeing if you end up with a nice result. And this turned out to be a nice guitar. So hope you found that interesting. Thanks for watching, and if you did enjoy it, then please like and subscribe, and check back. I upload videos quite regularly, so hope to see you back in the shack soon. So this guitar is now up for sale on my Reverb shop. If you just go to reverb.com and search for Alan's Guitar Shack. Alternatively, my website is alansguitarshack.com. Hope to see you there. Thanks a lot.